up, guys? Another
What's
episode
going
of Let's Argue. We are here again. We weren't able to get anything accomplished last week. Life happened. Was out of town, and time zones didn't really work out too well.
Yeah.
But here we are. We're going to give you an afternoon recap of all the games that happened this afternoon. However we want to start it, we shall start it. I'm seeing the Colts-Broncos game.
Well, that was Thursday.
That was Thursday.
That was a bit of a snooze fest.
Yeah, that game was terrible to watch. Thursday Night Football has done a terrible job of who's been playing.
Yeah,
who's been playing on Thursday Night Football. It's been quite a sleeper.
Yeah, let's hop into some juicy games for Sunday. Let's go ahead and go with Jets and Dolphins. Dolphins, they pushed back the concussion protocol with the new rule. So, with that being said, Teddy Bridgewater, first play of the game for Miami, actually got hit in the head. He is under concussion protocol. So, with that being said, I can actually get his name right now. His last name was Thompson.
Either
Skylar
way,
Thompson.
Dolphins are only without Tua for this week. Next week he'll be back. As you can see, Dolphins are riding the struggle bus without Tua, though. So
yes,
with the future in mind, I would say Tua needs to be there present throughout the season for them to be successful, because they just got blown out 40-17. As you can see, Jets also aren't that much of a slouch this year.
No, they're going into week 5, 3-2.
Yeah.
So, or excuse me, they're going in week 6, 3-2. So, I mean, the Jets are doing rather well. Zach Wilson is back at the helm. Rookie Breece Hall had a hell of a game, and I mean, it was awesome to watch. See Zach Wilson and the Jets actually succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, moving on to a bit of a blowout, Buffalo and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Buffalo proved out once again. As long as Josh Allen has the weapons that he has, Gabriel Davis is up and coming, and it's proven out, I think, at this point. We got a taste of it last year in the postseason. Gabriel Davis now throughout the regular season has been notable.
Yes.
And dude almost broke 200 yards just himself in the game, and 2 touchdowns. So he was half the offense today. Which kind of quiets down Stephon Diggs a little bit, but Stephon Diggs is still that guy. But with Gabriel Davis around, the Bills are a dangerous team right now. They have some key pieces out on defense, but as long as they have Von Miller on the edge and they have their starting D still pretty somewhat healthy, they are a force to be reckoned with. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the Bills. They're so far the best looking team in the league.
Yeah, Bills for the AFC wise is a force to be reckoned with, and but I mean, hold up though. So Patriots, we're going into week 5 against the number 1 scoring offense, which is Detroit Lions, and New England Patriots came to play, and they honestly they did shut out the Detroit Lions 29-0. So Bill Belichick, I think Tyler actually said it best while we were just watching the games. Zappe is my real quarterback. So Zappe did really well, 29-0.
Whether Zap or Zappe, they haven't really established how that is said yet.
I like Zappe.
I like the Zappe.
Yeah. So
put a little zest on there.
But I mean, the Patriots did really, really well, and going on to another team in the AFC, the Chargers versus Browns. Chargers, I'm not 100% convinced that the AFC.
But Chargers are always going to be that team that kind of stick to you until the very end. Chargers have proven that their defense is, after this game especially, they have proven that their defense is lackluster. so far going into week 5. I would say week 5 you can establish what your team is looking like.
Well,
So,
I mean, this was week 5. So, I mean,
Yeah.
with the Chargers, everyone already speculated.
Chargers have an issue at defense.
Well, everyone already speculated that AFC West was going to be the division to beat. And arguably, I want to say AFC East is that division. With the Broncos.
AFC with the Bills sitting at the top of the helm, and Dolphins, 3-2 right now. You got to remember they're a Tua-less team. They're missing their main tool.
Yes.
Pun intended.
Well, what's crazy is that the Jets are on a 2-game winning streak.
Jets can kind of slip their way in just because they're that team kind of fights back and forth with a lot of teams. They have a really good defense. Their offense is unknown at the moment just because of who's the quarterback. We haven't really established who Zach Wilson is as a quarterback. So, AFC East is a very unknown besides the Bills. The Bills are already well known. They upgraded their defense. They upgraded their offense. They signed Gabriel Davis. They kept Stephon Diggs. They have Josh Allen long term till unknown future. I would say that the Bills are going to come out on top just because that defense is just, you can't, even with their starting safeties gone, like, you can't get past them.
I agree. The Bills is going to be a force to be reckoned with for a very long time, and I'm excited to see the Buffalo versus KC matchup very, very soon. But with that being said, the Chargers are arguably, it's kind of what are they going to do this week? And the Browns, Browns are kind of like that same team. That what are we going to do this week? And they ended up missing a field goal, which gave the Chargers that W. Same thing, kind of result in a game that we just finished watching with the undefeated Eagles. Kyler Murray ended up sliding on the night. I mean, it was 3rd and 10, I believe, and he ended up sliding and made it 3rd and 1, and he spiked the ball. So it made it 4th and 1, and ended him.
Find it. Where's the Cardinals at?
Right here.
Oh, there we go.
So, made Matt Amendola try to kick the winning field goal kick, or excuse me,
Eagles
to tie it.
So, NFC East-wise, even though the Eagles went 5-0, the Cowboys won today.
Yeah, and they were going into this game as the underdogs.
The Cowboys went in, besides the 49ers, as, the top 2 defenses in the league at the moment. In the NFC, and they held the Rams down just like the Niners did, 22-10.
Yeah.
Niners held them down 24-9. Very similar style type of game. It is proven out that the Niners and Cowboys have the defense besides the Bills to kind of carry on through the year.
Correct.
And with that being said, I would say, with the success that Dallas is having without Dak Prescott, there's no hurry to put Dak Prescott in.
No, let him heal. This is
whenever you guys' bye week is, once we can pull that up, I think Cowboys bye week will be this one right here. So in between... Next week is week 6, week 7. So week 8 is Cowboys bye week. Actually, maybe not. No, I think week.
Yeah, because this was the October.
So I think November 24th to December 11th. So week 9,
I believe.
But week 8, week 9 time frame. Perfect time to have bye week. Get your key guys back. Dallas is sitting in a good position. They also have to consider, is Dak Prescott the answer even when he's ready to come back? I would say no.
It's interesting. You kind of pull it to the Washington situation with Carson Wentz. Washington is paying Carson Wentz $25 million plus, and you got Taylor Heineke that's sitting on the bench that did really well with Washington last season. So you're going to pay Dak Prescott. But Cooper Rush is having success. Jerry Jones has said...
Sat behind Dak since 2017.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Rush is having success. Jerry Jones did speak on The Fan last week on 105.3 The Fan in Texas that Dak Prescott will play.
Dak Prescott will play because they're paying him to play.
Correct.
So the thing is, they're dumping their money into a guy that can play.
I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to say about Cooper Rush this week, especially after going into this game as underdogs.
I would say if Dak Prescott is a 50-50 shot, which it's starting to look that way, based off the success that he just had against a top-tier team. Yeah. The Rams are a top-tier team, according to the NFL.
Now,
so with that
honestly, they dropped after that.
With that being said, they just beat a top NFC team, now sitting at last place. No, so they're tied for second. Anyways, what I'm saying is they're 2-3, Niners are 3-2. Niners are looking extremely well, but the Niners also ran into a roadblock that we'll address later on.
So, I mean, going back to the games that we were seeing today, 49ers and Panthers, Jimmy Garoppolo is proving yet again that he deserves the starting spot. Kittle actually showed life. He did really well playing in the slot as well as being on the edge, covering blocks, just like what Kittle does.
They got him the ball the most this week than they did any other week. Maybe due to the fact that it was a blowout game, but the times that he did get the ball were in key moments of the game when it was still a one-score game.
Correct.
He sat at about around 5 to 6 receptions. He sat at a pretty high level of offensive touches compared to the last few weeks. He missed the first, 3 weeks of the season, came in week 4 or 5, and we're starting to see George Kittle be a big piece to the offense. And with that being said, the Niners are looking like how they're supposed to. Trey Lance is out. Jimmy Garoppolo comes in. Jimmy Garoppolo so far is the answer to the issues that we did have prior to Trey Lance playing. The Niners almost moved completely on. They were very close to moving completely on from Jimmy Garoppolo. I would say it's a blessing in disguise for the 49ers because they just won today 37-15 with Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback.
Correct.
So I would say, with that being said, I think they have to accept the fact that they need to reconsider their options with Jimmy Garoppolo and reconsider their outlook of Trey Lance outside of the ankle injury. Yeah. The success is there with the team, and I feel like they need to accept the fact that they win ball games without Trey Lance.
Yeah, if you think about it from last year, I mean, the Niners went all the way to the NFC Championship, and they lost. They went deep into the playoffs, and by no sense that I believe Jimmy Garoppolo should have sat, especially week 1. I mean, we could speculate that, yes, the Niners could have won that game. Jimmy Garoppolo has more experience. I mean, there's all types of stuff you can say. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Garoppolo does have more experience and can win ball games. We've talked about it last season. We talked about it, the year before, that Jimmy Garoppolo is obviously not a Josh Allen, not a Patrick Mahomes, not a Tom Brady, but he can win ball games, and he's a game manager. So
sometimes that's all you need.
Yes.
With that being said, I think we should move on to some other games.
So Seahawks and Saints is a game I want to bring up. Saints with the utility quarterback, tight end, running back, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill had an absolute
for fantasy managers. I would say Taysom Hill is an automatic steal. Me and him looked into it during the Saints and Seahawks game. Both in his league, in my league alone, Taysom Hill was available. And he is listed as a tight end to everybody in ESPN fantasy leagues.
Correct.
With that being said, that means this man had 4 total touchdowns today. He was the offense for the New Orleans Saints. So if you're a fantasy manager and you're looking for somebody to give you high-scoring games, moving forward, if Jameis Winston, even when he does come back, for whatever reason, the Saints kind of turn away from Taysom Hill being the offense. But the issue is Taysom Hill is the offense, whether they want to accept it or not. They need to accept it at this point in the season because now they are 2-3 with Taysom Hill taking the helm of the offense, whether he is starting quarterback or not. Andy Dalton can start at quarterback for passing plays. But when it comes to rushing and the total offensive concept of the New Orleans Saints, it needs to be Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I mean, Taysom Hill definitely needs to show some more love. Saints organization definitely needs to show them more love. I mean, Taysom Hill scored 4 touchdowns out of the 6 that they scored. Now, I mean, just the fantasy points that were left on the table.
30 fantasy points.
It's tough, but, that's not counting
3 rushing, 1 passing touchdown, and he threw a absolute thread. So, my thing is, the Saints have a lot of questions to answer. Do you want to start Taysom Hill? Do you want to start
Andy
Dalton?
I mean, it's definitely up in the air, but, I mean, let's not discredit the Seahawks. The Seahawks, every single game that they play, they fight. They definitely, I mean, Geno Smith is solid.
Seahawks fight every game, but the issue with the Seahawks is they have no defense.
They have no defense.
It's been put on display for 5 weeks now.
They have no defense. Definitely not the defense that we all knew back, a couple of years ago. But the Seahawks, another issue, and this kind of falls into the defense, is they can't finish the game. They can't finish. So, with that being said, the Saints definitely has a lot of, things to think about. But right now, celebrate the W. Taysom Hill.
Let's touch on Tom Brady situation.
Thomas Brady.
Thomas Brady. So, Tom Brady had a okay game.
He had a pretty solid game. 351 yards, a touchdown, 35 for 52.
Didn't get the outcomes that he needed. They struggle on third down. It showed quite a bit against the Falcons. We can't tell if the Falcons have a decent defense or not. It's starting to look that way because all the Falcons games have been relatively close, within 3 points to a 1-score game. So I would say with the Falcons have an issue offensively. They don't score a lot. They rely on their defense too much. Kyle Pitts, I'm pretty sure, was out that game. They have some injury issues. They have some defensive issues. But they're not major defensive issues because so far their games have rarely made it past 30 points. We're at week 5, people. At week 5, this is where teams decide whether it's a head coach issue, whether the team is terrible. I would say it's safe to say with the Bears game that we watched earlier, the Bears are terrible. What are they, 1-4?
Bears are 2-3.
2-3. Okay, so Bears slipped one through week 1. I think that was the luck of the draw. But
I don't think there's any 1-4 team except for the Steelers
and the Texans.
And Washington, and Lions and the Panthers.
So we're seeing typical teams sitting at the bottom. Bears look terrible on offense. Just watching their game. Defense is top tier. But their offense is nowhere to be found. I mean, they're relying too much on Justin Fields' feet to get the plays done.
Just talking about the Bears, though, Vikings and Bears. Vikings are looking more and more like the team to be in the NFC.
Yes, Vikings are starting to look. It's crazy. People always come out every year and say Kirk Cousins is not the guy. But
except for on Monday night, he's definitely not the guy. It has been proven.
Yeah,
the man has lost so many Monday night games.
1 loss, and that 1 loss, I believe, was to the Packers. But Vikings.
No, the Vikings beat the Packers.
Vikings beat
the Packers.
Okay. Well, Vikings are sitting at the top of the NFC North, and Packers fans are kind of punching the air right now.
Yeah, their actual loss was to the Eagles. So
It makes sense. Makes
yeah,
sense.
but
Couldn't
I mean, more
remember,
and more,
sorry.
it's all good. More and more, the games that we're seeing, we're like you said before, we're starting to notice what they can fix, what that we believe should be at the helm, who should be at the helm. Excuse me. But other than that, I think we touched on just about every single game. Tennessee and Washington. Carson Wentz threw a pick right at, I think it was 3rd and goal. Definitely had a chance to come back in this game, win the game. But Washington let it slip through their fingers yet again, and Titans walked away. So it was tough to see that. But other than that, Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry's looking solid. Carson Wentz and the Commanders are looking kind of just off. Definitely not in sync, defensive, offensive, both sides of the ball. They're not looking in sync.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, I was looking for it. Titans have I would say, out of that game, solid defense is what helped them get through that game. Struggling against the Commanders is not okay.
No, it's not. They're 1-4.
Whether they want to accept it or not, Titans have an issue at quarterback.
Yes. So Tannehill has been rushed, been knocked down so many damn times, and it's a problem. Titans needs to address the offensive line or
also lost their starting tackle, Taylor Lewan.
Correct. So as the Chargers are dealing with heaps of injuries. So same thing with Miami as well. But did we talk about the Cowboys and Rams game?
Cowboys-Rams, we touched on it.
We did?
Slightly. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the
we
beginning.
did.
Cowboys are, like we said, top-tier defense.
That's true.
Held
yeah.
down the Rams just similar to how the Niners did in the previous week. Rams have an issue at the offensive side of the ball.
I do want to just say the Rams came out, and maybe this is why I was just kind of just popped back in my head, so I apologize for circling back a game. But Bobby Wagner actually came out and said, and kind of talked trash to Cooper Rush a little bit, that cool that you're handling the blitz, but you're not going to handle that Sunday. Cooper Rush
did not work out in Bobby Wagner's favor.
Correct, and nor
team
Jalen
got held
Ramsey.
down to 10 points. Whether or not that was a defensive issue or offensive issue, you got held down to 10 points.
Held down, but sorry for circling back, but let's talk about prime time. Let's talk about
Prime time Sunday night football. But ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up to the tail end of the last 8 minutes of the football segment of our episode.
So let's jump right on into the Bengals and Ravens.
Ravens. Ravens have
Joe Burr. All right, so
Joey Burr.
With that being said, I mean, we got two.
Bengals have made some adjustments, I think, that are going in their favor. Previous weeks. Week 1 was shaky. Week 2 was shaky. Week 3 and 4 looked solid.
We have a divisional matchup here. Ravens coming off of a heartbreaking loss against the Buffalo Bills. We have the Bengals on a 2-game win streak. The Ravens just barely lost against the Bills. 23 unanswered points. So I know
Ravens have a defensive issue. So if the Bengals offense can fire off on the issue of the fact that the Ravens struggle on defense.
Yeah.
But the Ravens are a offensive powerhouse as well. It is a powerhouse matchup.
They are. So, I mean, this is going to be tough. Honestly, let's just jump right into this. Who are you picking for tonight's game?
Tonight's game,
primetime pick.
I'm going to say Joe Burr shows out on Sunday Night Football.
Joe Burr.
He's got Jamar Chase. He's
what do you have
Joe Mixon in the backfield.
What do you have him at?
I got it 24-19.
Damn.
Extra point is missed or a field goal is missed by the Ravens.
You know, I see more of this. I like a defensive matchup. I mean, Joe Burr, Lamar Jackson, it's going to be very hard to hold either of them. But I'm more or less seeing this as a 21-17
Where's it being played at?
Baltimore.
Playing in Baltimore, weather is going to be an issue.
So I say 21-17. You say 24-19.
Yeah.
It's going to be an awesome game. What I expect, and you tell me what you expect out of this game. I expect the Bengals. We're both picking the Bengals, so hopefully we get your dub on our board.
I think the Bengals have rearranged their team a little bit, and I think they're going to come out on top throughout the season as well.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you guys have heard our predictions. Moving on to Monday Night Football, with less than 5 minutes remaining in the NFL segment.
Yeah, Monday Night Football, what we have Raiders and Chiefs. This has been a bout that we've been wanting to see.
This is a bout that we've been wanting to see all year long.
Yeah, so if you guys remember last year, Raiders did come to Arrowhead Stadium and put a good smacking on the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs are coming off of an awesome W, and the Raiders are also coming off of an awesome W. They are 1-3 now. They are no longer winless. So
yes, Raiders are at a make or break point at their season.
Yes.
Now with the Chiefs, they are not.
I believe so. I believe they are. They will still be in first, but you want to keep that lead, at least the game.
You want to keep that lead today. Well, tomorrow night will be the answer to all questions. I think the Chiefs come out on top, 34-24.
That's bold. I believe that Derek Carr, Hollins, Waller, and I believe the defense will stop Patrick Mahomes and not let Patrick Mahomes do Mahomes thing, scramble, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers let him do. I believe this game, you heard it here first, 28-17 Raiders.
Wow, that's bold. All right, guys,
Yep.
That is the end of our NFL segment. We are now moving on to the playoff picture currently for the MLB. Stay tuned.
Yes. Hello there.
All right, we are back for the MLB segment, everybody. Now, we are looking at the playoff picture. The Blue Jays and the...
No, not Blue Jays. Blue Jays lost.
No, Blue Jays are eliminated.
Come on, man. I know you want.
Hold on,
I know
hold
you
on.
want everyone else in
tuned
America and Canada.
All
that
right.
Vlad Jr.
Yeah.
was going to go.
Blue Jays have been eliminated, and the Cardinals have been eliminated. And that should be it. Because the San Diego Padres and Mets, Cardinals have been eliminated. Phillies are moving on. And
The San Diego Mets forced a Game 3.
yeah, San Diego Mets are going Game 3 tomorrow. And then Mets and Mariners have moved on. Cleveland has moved on. American League is set. So Cleveland is going to face the Yankees in the divisional series, and the Mariners are going to face the Houston Astros in the divisional series.
Yeah.
And the Phillies are going to face the Atlanta Braves. We're still waiting on the San Diego and New York Mets series to finish up. I think Mets are going to come out on top.
I don't believe that. I
think Scherzer's going to come out for another start.
Don't believe it.
Or DeGrom, because
Don't-
they're in a one-day off.
Don't believe it.
I do. I've seen teams do it before.
Never mind. Disregard. We fake news. San Diego
Fake
and
news.
Mets are playing right now.
They're playing as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. San Diego is up 2-0. Not looking good for the Mets.
San Diego heard you say that.
Yeah.
That what Mets
All
got
right.
this.
San Diego's sitting at top right now, tied series. San Diego has the opportunity to move on to play the Dodgers.
So
Now, with that being said, I think the Mets will come through towards the end of the game.
I don't believe that. One bit.
I just want to root for
San
the Mets.
Diego.
I hate the Padres.
I know you do. San Diego has bats. They do have a bullpen. Yu Darvish had a hell of a game. So, not saying that he's pitching right now.
Who's pitching right now?
Honestly, that's a good
Let's
question.
pull that up.
That's a solid question.
Who's pitching right now?
Let's go and look. Oh. Oof.
Joe Musgrove for the Padres. Mets. We're pulling up the Mets as we
Chris
speak.
Bassett.
This is live, everybody.
Chris Bassett.
Chris Bassett. Okay,
Padres
so Mets are not using DeGrom or Scherzer. Scherzer has been off for a day, and they're still not using him. Don't quote us on this. Scherzer or DeGrom is going to come in at some point in this game.
You heard it here first. Padres won.
Shut up.
Anyways,
Padres are looking like they're going to come out on top. They're up 2-0 in the third. Towards the end of the game, expect DeGrom or Scherzer to come in.
Just depends, but
Mets
let's
also have Edwin Diaz.
Let's get back into this postseason, though.
This postseason picture is closing in. We've broke it down to Atlanta and Phillies. So let's go ahead and announce the series winner of the Atlanta Phillies series, since it hasn't started yet and we can predict that.
Honestly, how about you just give me the predictions for what you believe?
To the very end?
Actually, you know what? I have a good little fun segment. Let's do a little fun segment.
Okay.
What do you say?
All right.
Let's do Tyler's walk to the ship.
Walk to the ship.
Let's start with the NLCS. What team do you believe will win? Atlanta and Philly, and LA and whoever else. And tell me who's going to make it into the ship with the NLCS.
I think Atlanta's going to come over the top of Philly easily.
Okay.
I think, just the way that the Yankees have been playing before the postseason has started, I really, really hope the Yankees can finally get past the divisional round.
Okay.
But
so do you believe Atlanta will make it to the ship?
No, not this year.
No? Do you think LA?
LA, yes.
Even if they face the Mets?
I hate to say it. Even if they face the Mets or Padres, they have a walk in the park.
Ooh. Ooh.
They're the winningest team in the league.
Ooh.
All right, so I'm saying this. Dodgers very rarely come out on top. But just off of how the Dodgers have been performing, right? They're the most stacked team in the league. They have the
debatable, but yeah.
Dodgers, I think, will come out on top, National League, going into the World Series.
Okay.
And I'm not saying a sweep. I'm saying they're going to lose one here or there.
Okay.
And I really think the Yankees have the lineup to finally do it. I think it's going to be a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. 7 games.
Okay.
We're going deep this year.
So, here's my walk to the ship. So, I believe San Diego will beat the Mets. They're already up 2-0. Upset, San Diego beats LA. They will face Atlanta Braves in the NLCS championship.
Mm-hmm.
And San Diego will also beat Atlanta.
I'm not sleeping on the Phillies.
I'm not sleeping on the Phillies, but don't sleep on San Diego. Now,
San Diego and the Mets can easily come out tonight.
So NLCS champion San Diego, and let's move on to ALCS. So with the Yankees, they will beat Cleveland. Cleveland had a tremendous wild card appearance against Tampa Bay, and they did really well for pitching management. So it's gonna come down to more or less pitchers. Aaron Judge, go ahead and calm down there, big boy. Okay, we're not all rising anymore.
I think Aaron Judge, pretty sure he led the league in strikeouts.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, as for the record, so I think Aaron Judge has to adjust and realize it is the postseason. Home runs do not matter at this point in the season.
They matter when it's walk-off, though.
But when you're striking out 9 out of 10 times, that doesn't help.
That's a very strong fact right there. But ALCS, I believe I'm gonna go number 5s on this. 5 is my lucky number. San Diego, Seattle Mariners.
I like it.
World Series championship.
I like to see the upsets. I want the upsets to happen.
Yeah. And so
I don't want the Dodgers. I don't want the NL West to carry it. I'm hoping they don't. Right now they are. So hopefully Dodgers don't close it out tonight. Not Dodgers. Padres don't close it out tonight. And
they will.
Cleveland and Seattle already moved on, so they already have their series set. But Cardinals kind of disappointed us this year. I really hoped they were going to pull through, but they did not. And right now, the Mets are kind of disappointing us as well.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and stamp that right now. Ed's prediction, San Diego, Seattle. Tyler's prediction,
LA
Dodgers, Yankees.
You guys heard it here first. That pretty much wraps up our episode.
Yes.
And if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, share, be a friend, tell a friend. And if you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up, 5-star rating, all of the above. And thank you for listening.
Yes.